Yeah. Sound check. Hold on, man. Let me make sure I'm coming in proper. I think my mic sounds weird, but I was using it. I thought it was this device, but I was on another streaming platform. Oh, Prentice, what's going on, brother? Ain't seen you in a minute. Shouts out to you and your family, dog. Let me know how I'm sounding, man. Instagram. I thought it was this device. I thought it was this Bluetooth headset. But then I went live with my brother Moxie approved on YouTube, and I was sounding better than I sound. Everything was sounding spectacular. So I don't know if it's the device or the app. Yes, sir. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying? This is the day where we express our gratitude for all the shit we done took. Like they taken. But yeah, my brother, let me know how I'm sounding on this microphone. Jive turkeys, man, on Thanksgiving, bro. Wow. Jive turkeys on Thanksgiving. I dodged the topic, but it's just getting louder and louder, you know. Oh, questions and requests. Definitely questions and requests. Before I get into the soup of the day, the topic of the day, I was waiting for more developments to come up on this topic, but there have yet to be some. I sound Gucci. All right. Definitely want to speak on the Drake lawsuit with Kendrick. It's not the most I got common thread conversations that I'd like to touch on. So I'll walk you through those first, and then we can tap into your boy Lawbry. Lawbry Graham. We can tap into Lawbry. Squabble Up is a dope video. Yeah, man. Which is funny, man. I feel like I get dog whistled by the media because, like, shit that I've been doing for years and months. Like, I'll play Debbie Deb. I'll just be playing Debbie Deb without the squabble up. You know? When I hear music, that type of shit. I love some freestyle jams, bro. But anyways, let me still go through my topics. My common topics is the unsustainability of likability, which may play into this, may play into the Drake. The unsustainability of likability, authenticity over likability, being a contrived notion, authenticity can at times be distorted, and like when people say they keeping it real, or I'm just saying what everybody's thinking, that's not always authenticity. That's probably the extreme distortion of authenticity, is to just say wild shit. So the unsustainability of likability, and females disregarding boundaries with men and women. Females disregard, so females feeling licensed to disregard boundaries. Shouts out Grow to Growth, man. Happy Thanksgiving. We thankful for the taking. we give thanks for the shit that was took. I will be talking about Jive turkeys on Thanksgiving, but like I said, the Drake lawsuit, the unsustainability of likability, female normalization of disregard for boundaries set by males and females. Aliens. It's like been acknowledged. We kind of just skipped over aliens through the hoopla of Drake shit and Kendrick and Trump election and, Kamala law, I still get messages from Kamala like, fam, stop it. The unsustainability of quote unquote likability. Authenticity, what's more important, authenticity or likability? Aliens, UAPs, formerly known as UFOs, and NHIs, non-human identities. Yeah, they out, apparently they've been here. And then there's circles that believe that humanity is a product of alien or non-human identity, interference and interaction. Also Prometheus and Bob type shit. Like a outer worldly being came through here thousands and thousands of years ago and tapped the monkeys, or tapped the primate. By tapped I mean intercoursed. But yeah, but they no longer call UFOs. They call them UAPs, non-human identities. UFOs is the unidentified. I gotta pull up the unidentified anomaly phenomenon. So it's not just unidentified flying objects. It's not just objects that fly. It's objects that float. It's objects that don't move. It's objects that interact. And then non-human. It's not just flying objects. It's unidentified aerial phenomenon. So it's in the air, but it's not always flying. And they had a whole 2-hour Congress. And they had a whole 2-hour Congress hearing, and it was on some X-Files shit, but it was like all very casual, and they weren't talking about the existence and the legitimacy of these things. They weren't talking about if it was legitimate or not. They was talking about they were talking about the cover-ups and the non-transparency between agencies. So they was talking about the non-transparency of agencies. So they was like, it was given, right? It was a given that these things are here. So we're not going to debate whether these things are here. We're going to talk about why there are agencies not being transparent with other agencies. I can't Google nothing right now. I can't the Prime phone. I can't Google nothing right now because I'm on the device that I use to do the Googling. But because this is gonna go on YouTube, I'll put that Congress hearing in the description on UAPs and NHIs. But it'd be interesting, you know what I mean, to get to that if I have time, if I got time. So off top, it's the unsustainability of likability, females disregarding boundaries, and it's okay, or something. The existence of aliens or otherworldly beings. The Twitter exodus. I might get on way later. And then the cash and attention grabs, and I think the alien conversation was for sure a sacrifice of the cash and attention grabs that exist. Cash grabs. I think the Kamala Harris campaign was a cash grab. I think the Tyson Jake Paul fight was an attention grab. I think the Drake lawsuit is an attention grab. Now, if these things are deliberately used to sway the conversation and focus over here, I think it's real algorithmic, But let's start there, though. Let's start with the Drake lawsuit, man. If you haven't been aware, Aubrey Drake Graham, sued his parent record label, his and Kendrick. They both are under the same umbrella, which it does play into the cash and attention grab, because And Vince Staples was asked about the beef between Kendrick and Drake, and he gave an answer detailing his experience with Universal. Universal Music Group is UMG. And people dismissed his answer as dismissive of the topic at hand. And then now let us flash forward to one of the artists, Drake, submitting a lawsuit to UMG and making Vince Staples look like Nostradamus. It was like I was trying to tell you, you dismissed my answer as dismissive. What's good, Corday? What's poppin', man? I might pull y'all on, and this is questions and requests. So all questions I'm gonna answer, and then all requests I'm responding to. I might pull my brother Corday in, because the Drake thing. So it's Drake versus UMG and Kendrick is the unsustainability of likability, this female disregarding of boundaries, physical and personal, aliens, UAPs and NHIs, the Twitter exodus, and cash and attention grabs. You asking me, Corday asks me, what's the weakest Kendrick Lamar album? I'm gonna wait to respond to that because I'm still at the lawsuit. So we gotta work. I'm not working backwards. I'm gonna start where we at and then go backwards. You know, let's start with the present and then go back. So Drake was getting spanked in this battle, and it's been pretty. And this battle was more like a game of Uno. At points, it was just back and forth. No, I'm cooking. It's all good. You ain't got to apologize. You know, it's the chat. Shouts out to the chat and my brother Corday. Aubrey getting whooped. He just spanked. Like I said, at some point it didn't even seem like a rap battle more than it was a card game or Uno cards. They was just and the strategy and gamification was on full display to the point where the casual observer could make statements about the moves that they saw. More than the music, it was the move. This song, he did this, and he responded to this in this track, and it was like, and he dropped it. As soon as this dropped, and then this dropped, and then he didn't wait, he dropped again. And it was, that was a part of the common conversation. That being a part of the common conversation takes it out of the behind the scenes and into the forefront when the casual observer, when this becomes a conversation more than the music. And then, this is before Not Like Us dropped. And so then, Not Like Us took off. It's the slap. It's the slap of the year. I remember when it came out on that Saturday at 2 p.m. West Coast, I must have played it 100 times myself. This was around when Netflix is a Joke was out here. We had the speaker in front of the Improv, and we was just playing it on repeat. I gave 100 streams on my own. So now flash forward to today, Drake filed a lawsuit against UMG for payola and improper practices. And that is putting salt in his own wounds. And many are just tearing him up, just tearing him apart. And then the few defenders that he has are saying that, this is improper business practices, and then people in the middle say, whether or not it's improper business practices, he had no problem benefiting from improper business practices when they play in his favor versus when they don't. That was the first lawsuit. And then the very next day, he filed that lawsuit on a Monday. Kendrick drops the album on Friday. Drake drops a lawsuit on Monday, drops another lawsuit on Tuesday, claiming defamation of character. So he's suing UMG for improperly and unfairly promoting a song with inflammatory and defamatory statements in the music. Now, besides the fact that music cannot be used in a court of law for criminal activity, that's your artistic expression, freedom of speech, freedom of creative expression. Forget about the fact that Drake's behavior in the past with, pulling a young woman on stage that was 17, and despite that being the age of consent in Canada, that still it lends itself to that creative license to form that statement that use a pedophile, or a PDF. There's also the young actress that was underage from Stranger Things that he was in communications with, that she had admitted that would lend enough to where creative license can be taken. But that to the side, I do recall this dude Drake, man, making several defamatory statements about Kendrick's wife, or domestic partner, child's mother, like wildly defamatory statements, like your child is actually your manager's, one of your children is actually your manager's biological children. And then gonna tell you directing comments to that man's wife saying, shake that ass. It's throwing stones from the glass house, That's just my thoughts on it. You had no problem with the UMG when the practices benefited you. He had no problem with with UMG when the improper business practices benefited him. He, through his behavior and contact with women who are not of age of consent, or quote unquote barely legal, he had inappropriate contact with them to the point where that could lead one to artistically paint you in that picture. And then, the defamation of character that you engaged in with this man and his family, saying that he beat on his lady, he beat on his partner, and that his partner he's fathering a child that's not actually his, and it's actually his manager. These are like 3 people defamed in one statement, 11. He said 11 people. Oh, you mean 11 from the show? 11 from the show Stranger Things. I don't know if is there any interference. I hope that didn't interfere. I had a little call come through. I hope it didn't interfere. Let me know in the chat if that disrupted the combo. And so, yeah, my take on it is that everything is hypocritical, and by leveling these accusations, you open yourself. I never watched Stranger Things, but when you make shit legal, you gotta be kind of cleaner. You gotta be kind of cleaner than your opponent in a legal aspect, if we staying on topic. Now, if you got some other shit going on that they bring into this, that's like a diversion. That would be a diversion. You'll be like, oh, okay, you talking about us defaming people, but what about your drugs? And it's like, but if it's like, what about our defamation? What about your defamation? What about our improper practices? What about your improper practices? What about this? What about this? you know. And so it's just wildly hypocritical. It was wildly hypocritical. And it's kind of hard to respect, you know. It's the soup of the day, man. It's, you know, it's all that really is the topic right now. The shit is it's kind of crazy though to bring it. You know, it's such an ungraceful way to lose that there's got to be like a mad science to it, you know. And I think Lawbury, you know, shouts out Shadina. I think Aubrey banked so much on quote unquote likability, you know, that it was unsustainable. All of this likability was manufactured. You know, it's manufactured. You can't. Oh shit, it's muted. All right. See, can't hear me. Oh my god. Let me see. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Say something in the chat if you can or can't hear me. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Am I muted? Please say something so I know. Or we can do this. I'm gonna schedule a time to come back. We're gonna come back. We're gonna come back on this. We're gonna bring this up, and I'm gonna talk about all the topics that I got on here. We're gonna come back. I'm gonna answer that call. I'm gonna return that call, okay? And then I'm gonna touch back with y'all. All right. Let's schedule it. Let's say about I'm gonna come through in about, let's say 3 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time today. Let's do it. On IG, Instagram. Follow me on Instagram if you're watching this somewhere else. But I'm gonna rehash the topics. This is gonna be a real live on IG. I'm gonna invite some friends. I'm gonna invite some folks. I'm gonna have questions and requests. We're gonna talk about the Drake lawsuit versus UMG and the battle. The unsustainability of likability. Female disregarding of boundaries with males and females. Aliens, UAPs and NHIs, unidentified aerial phenomenon, and non-human identities. Cash and attention grabs, you know, diversions or cash grabs and attention grabs, and the Twitter exodus, the X exodus. So I'll be back 3 p.m. on IG. If you're watching this on YouTube, go follow me on the IG. Go check out the video with the congressional hearing about the UAPs, and we'll tap back. One. I still say one. I'm sorry.